Welcome back to the Brent Daniels Real Estate Live Show. We're talking about the 90-day action plan. Woo! Let me tell you this. I've talked to a lot of real estate investors, real estate wholesalers over the last 20 years. And I will tell you this, when you get into real estate, they set the expectations that you will not make income. You will not make a single dollar of income for 6 months. This was told to me when I became a real estate agent. This was told to me when I joined real estate coaching and real estate courses and all of these other things. They say you need to grind 6 straight months before you will make a single dollar. I think we can do it faster. I know that we can do it faster because I've proven this time and time and time again based on this exact checklist right here, guys. And listen, a lot of this has to do with the mindset, but more importantly, this has to do with the action items that you take every single day over the next 90 days. I want to challenge you. I want to encourage you. I want to uplift you with as much enthusiasm as possible to take this next 90 days as a project. I love that word project because it doesn't seem like it's a challenge. It doesn't seem like it's like this overwhelming, like grind and hustle, whatever. It's a project. You're working on a project. This is going to lay the foundation for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years of your real estate life. Okay. But this 90 days, we need to go into this with wild optimism, wild positivity. And we have to look at the positivity. I don't know why I said it like I was British, but you need to look at this as a project, as something that's really, really exciting, that has an end date. Start date is today, taking the action today and what's going to happen in 90 days. So let's jump right in here. This is in my coaching program. This is in the Rhino Tribe. This is with the Wholesaling Inc. coaching program. This is our 90-day action plan that Alejandro over here goes through when we do the onboarding calls with every one of our students. This is what we start with, okay? And it starts with number 1 here, complete the Millionaire Mindset course. All right, and let me just tell you a little bit about that course because I don't want it to be like a teaser thing. I'll give you kind of the actual meat and potatoes of what that training is all about. And it really breaks it down into 10 different secrets that I have discovered over, the last 20 years of doing this that are really, really, really key and fundamental to making sure that you can have this exciting enthusiasm over the next 90 days. Okay. Number 1 is this. We have to get out of the education loop. Okay. Nobody's going to pay you for what you know. They're only going to pay you for what you do, right? So we got to get out of this. I'm going to watch the course and I'm going to go through it and I'm going to watch the YouTube and I'm going to listen to the podcasts and I'm going to go to these meetups and I'm going to do all these things. That is great. That is exciting. That just gives us some confidence to go out there. We feel like we're not as ignorant as we were before, the more that we learn. But remember this. And this is something that Tom Croll taught to me, and it is unbelievable when you actually put it into practice. It is not education plus action equals results. Okay? It is the action and the results are our education. Make that fundamental. Don't stay in that education loop where you protect yourself. A lot of people feel warm and happy and they feel great learning. Learning is exciting. Being like, oh, when the light bulbs go off, that's like one of the best feelings ever. You know what's a better feeling? Money going into your bank account. That's a better feeling, right? Because that means that you actually went out and you did what you're on this planet to do, which is provide value to other human beings. Einstein told us that. We are here to be in service to other human beings. Full stop. That's it. Well, guess what? Money is the receipt of value. Money is the receipt of value. So you can't get money unless you're providing value. Unless you're scamming, of course, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about long-term actually bringing in good income from the efforts that we're putting out there and the value that we're putting out there. Okay. Number 2 is this. We have to remember at all times, progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. All right. Every single day we get better. We have to stack the small wins. Calling a for sale by owner that you pull up on Zillow today, doesn't matter if it's an ugly house, doesn't matter if they want $3 million or $30,000. Calling that for sale by owner is a win. Them answering the phone is a win. You having a conversation with them to see if the property is still available is a win. Like, all of these things are win. This is progress. The more conversations and the more offers we make, the better we are. That's how we build skills as real estate entrepreneurs. I don't care if you're assigning or novating deals. I don't care if you're flipping deals. I don't care if you're adding to your portfolio. You have to have conversations and you have to make offers. So it's that is the umbrella that all of this thing is covered by, is conversations and offers. All right. Number 3 is you got to get everybody on board. You got to get everybody on board. Who are your, who do you need permission from in your life? Truly, who's important to you? Because this is going to be a distraction. This is going to be something that you are in a hustle season. Who do you need to have a conversation with and say, listen, this is the goal. This is why I want to do this, and get them on board, right? The problem that I see oftentimes is we just start going, oh, I'm going to go do this thing, and then I'm going to prove it to them. I'm going to close the deal, and then I'm going to tell them, oh, yeah, this is why I was doing these things. Stop it. Start it from the beginning. Start from the beginning. Let everybody know. Let your spouse know. Let the people that are in your life know, whether it's your parents or wherever else, whoever you're living with. All right, let them know, and get their buy-in. They might not be excited about it in the beginning. They might have glossed over eyes in the beginning, but they're going to see the stars in your eyes. They're going to see the enthusiasm you have for this, and it's going to infect them with that enthusiasm. Okay, so get everybody on board. Next, you have to have an abundance mindset, guys. Have to have an abundance mindset. There are way more deals than there are people going after the deals. This is not about competition. This is about collaboration. We talk about it every Monday on Wholesale Hotline. It's called Squad Up. Collaboration, not competition. There are so many opportunities. It is a conveyor belt of opportunities. We cannot start from a place where we go, oh, there's not enough. There's not enough deals. Do you know how many DMs I get? How many people reach out? How many people put into the chat? Is there too many people doing this? Is it too congested? Right? Is it what's the other word they use for it? You know what I mean? Saturated. Boom. Lukey's on it, bro. Must have had some caffeine this morning. I love it. No, you're always on it. Saturated. Is it too saturated? No, it's not. So throw that out right now. Number 5, you got to surround yourself with positive people, guys. Surround yourself with positive people. Most people will not understand what you're trying to accomplish. You have to be around people doing this. You have to be around people that are ahead of you. You have to get ahead. And if you're just starting, there's nobody behind you, right? There's maybe people in the same spot, but you have to surround yourself. Next, you have to watch the 3 Ds and the 3 Ps. Doubt, distraction, disappointment. You're going to run into it. It's going to pull at you. It's going to put, as an entrepreneur, doubt, distraction, and disappointment is what we deal with every day. Every day is a kick to the nuts and lady nuts for the powerful ladies out there. The same, you know what I mean? Like it is a kick to you. You're going to have to fight doubt, distraction, disappointment. And on top of that, you gotta, that is just what's thrown out from the outside. The inside are the 3 Ps: procrastination, paralysis by analysis, and perfectionism. Those are the 3 Ps that we have to watch out for. So we have to recognize them and we have to destroy them. The only way to destroy them is with action. The only way to destroy them is by staying busy. Idle hands do the devil's work. The 3 Ds and the 3 Ps show up in your life when you have time to think about them, when you have time to put attention to them. Get rid of them. Next, data, not drama. How many people do you actually have to talk to get a lead? I have talked to everybody. No, nobody wants to sell. Nobody wants to give me a good deal. Oh, I've talked to everybody. Come on. That's drama. And I'm telling you, drama is the most expensive thing in our business. It's our biggest expense. Our emotions are our biggest expense. We have to work on this. This is why being an entrepreneur and a business owner is so hard. Nobody's trained us for this. We have to go out and we have to learn this ourselves. It's not just like push a button, $1 million. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And by the way, we aren't owed anything. We aren't owed anything. We have to go out and earn everything. Okay? Next, focus and consistency. For the next 90 days, the only thing that you should focus on is, guys, I'm going to get into the technical side of this. I promise you, we'll go through this whole checklist, but this is really important. And then we've got a great show. I've got Chris Jefferson here. He's absolutely phenomenal. If you don't know him, he has been doing a ton of deals, and he's got AI on lock. It's really, really, really interesting. I got Dan Gibson. I think he's worth like $35-40 million, literally, all self-made, and he's in his 30s. His story is absolutely incredible. It's going to blow your freaking face off. I got Tom Croll here back again. Baby, the best of the best, the coach of the coaches. He's to give us real business principles. And we've got Rafael Cortez, CEO Pulse, baby. I mean, what are we talking about? This is the greatest show on YouTube ever created. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, strap in, get ready. You better stay on that treadmill. You better keep driving around, because this is going to be an action-packed show. Not only that, but guys, we're going to put a link in the chat. I want you coming on here live. I want you asking questions live. Now, I need you to have a camera that works. I need you to be able to be brave with the camera, but I want you to, let's have an interaction. I want to do some more of this. Okay. I want you to come on live. So we're going to put that in there. All right. We're going to put that, we're going to put that link in the chat so that you guys can jump in here. All right. Focus and consistency. Next 90 days, ugly houses, big checks. That's all I want you to think about. Where are the ugliest houses? Ugly in condition, ugly in situation. What are those, right? Go after those. That's it. Just go after ugly houses and have conversations and assign everything. If you're in a state that requires a license, partner with a real estate agent. Partner with a real estate agent. Boom. Got it. Okay. Got that covered. Oh, you live in South Carolina? Well, do it somewhere else. South Carolina is a mess. It is. I mean, it's an absolute mess. It's a mess for investors right now. It's the weirdest state ever. But for everybody else, let's go bananas. There's only 20 states, and we'll put that up, which states require a license and all that later. But go crazy. I don't care. Don't even worry about that. Just go and have great conversations. And if a license is required to find somebody that's a real estate agent. Boom, easy. Next, this is critical. Guys, I want you to Google after the show. You can do it now if you want. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Live your life. But this is one of the most powerful exercises you will ever do. It's called the 7 levels of why. Okay? You can download it. It's free on the interwebs. Okay? 7 levels of why. At the top, you put your goal. And then you have to answer why 7 times. By the way, this is a technique that has been used in interviewing in corporate America for a long time. They usually go 5 levels. My dad used to do this when I was growing up. He went through the 6 Sigma training. And then whenever I wanted something, we're doing something, he'd make me go through this 5. It's so frustrating. I was like, Dad, I want to go with my friends. Why? You know, whatever, right? But he used to do this to me, and maybe it's just subconscious, just something that I go through. But this is actually 2 layers deeper. And when you go, I want to be a millionaire, and you get down to the actual why? Oh, because I want financial freedom. Okay, why do you want financial freedom? Oh, because I want control of the time I have left on the planet. Okay, why do you want control left on the planet? You go 7 levels with that? Or, hey, I want to do my first wholesale deal. Answer that. Go down 7 layers deep. And then that answer, the 7th level, you circle that and you go back to that when you get kicked in the nuts or the lady nuts every day. You go back to that Because if that is not there front and center in your face all the time, that's why 99% of businesses don't do $1 million. That's why 85% of businesses are done within the first 3 years. That's why, because we're not focused on that deep. Everybody can accomplish it. I believe in our country, everybody can accomplish it. I think that we have the freedom to go out there and do amazing things when it comes to being an entrepreneur, but we have to focus on that real deep level why. All right? Boom. So that's some of them there. That's, guys, by the way, if you're interested in the absolute best training, wholesalinginc.com. This is just the first module that we do. Okay. It's just the first module. Anyway. So step 2, this is a checklist. So, the Rhino Tribe, they go through the millionaire mindset. We just kind of went through that quickly. You get clear on your why. We've got that. Commit to wholesaling part-time or full-time. If part-time, you need to commit 5 hours per week. If full-time, at least 15 hours per week to generating leads. You have to commit to generating. If you're part-time, you have to put 5 hours into having conversations. If you're full-time, at least 15 hours. So the next one is you time block. You look at your schedule. You time block when you can be consistent. When can you be consistent? Between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. That's usually when you can be really proactive. I think when you call, before 8 a.m., you certainly can, but you might get grumpier people. And after 8 p.m., we see a huge fall off of contact rates. Before 8 a.m. and after 8 p.m. So if you look, it's wow. Okay. Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. When can I find 5 hours if I'm doing this part-time? When can I find 15 hours if I'm doing it full-time? And then you time block it. And next, just to reiterate this, just to get the little check mark on this checklist right here, get your spouse's support if you're married. If you're just young and freaking going, go bananas. Go bananas. Next, go through the wholesaling blueprint course. That stays 3 and 5. Usually people just get into that pretty immediately after they go through this process. Obviously, guys, if you're looking for, a real step-by-step course, we got you covered. If not, you could literally just kind of break down and put it all kind of together through our YouTube channel here. Next, you're going to complete the 90-day action plan course, which Alejandro sets up. That's something specific that we do. That's more of a blueprint that we set up. I want you to download your favorite podcasting app and subscribe to Wholesaling Inc. podcast. Download your favorite Audible or audiobook app and purchase these recommended audiobooks. You need to put in, it's the last one there. Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. Have to get it. You can get that on YouTube right now, actually, for free. The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. Absolutely incredible. The One Thing by Gary Keller, and Go for No by Richard Fenton. All right. You get all of those on Audible. Boom. You're listening to that. You're putting really great stuff. No more music, news, or sports in the car. Listen, we can either be entertained or we can get instruction to be able to provide more value to the world. Right? So let's be in hustle season. This is our project. Next 90 days, this is our project. Commit to listening to new Wholesaling Inc. podcast episodes, Wholesale Hotline, and completing the recommended audiobooks during that 90-day period. You need to be surrounded by positivity because of all the kicks. And you know where those kicks are landing, right? Change hurts. That's why it's called Growing Pains. And I'm not talking about the 90s sitcom. Who was in that? Matt? Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron, I think, was in Growing Pains. Boom. There you go. Old school. All you Gen Zers are going to be like, shut up. Next, you got to set up your LLC. Now, we had Prime Corporate Services in there. Unfortunately, my good brother, Pace Morby, completely saturated them a bazillion %, and it turned into like kind of wild to get set up with them. So do it with anybody. Go to LegalZoom, get your CPA, post on Facebook. Is anybody a CPA that can help me set up my LLC? They'll do it for like $80 for real. All right. And then you got to join Facebook groups. Join your local Facebook group for real estate investors. All right. Join the Wholesaling Inc. Facebook group. Let me skip to page 2 here. And join your RIAs, right? Local Real Estate Investors Association for in-person networking. All right. Next, find a local mentor. Find somebody that's closing deals. Why? Because they know the best escrow officers. Why? Because they know the best hard money lenders. Why? Because they can open up doors that should be opened up to you. Why? Because there's something magical when you are face to face, knee to knee, belly to belly with somebody. Not belly to belly, it's just a phrase. That'd be hilarious. If you're just like, hey, will you be my mentor? And you're just belly to belly with them. It'd be weird. But find a local mentor. Find somebody that you can be around that's going to inspire you, that it is proven that you can do this in your market. All right. And then ask them for all these things. Find an escrow agent and title company. Find a good real estate attorney. Find a good transactional hard money lender. All right. And then next, meet with a real estate attorney. Meet with a real estate attorney. All right. Review the purchase and assignment agreements that you've downloaded, that you've gotten. We've got it here, but make sure that it's state specific for you. Right. And then find out any local wholesaling laws that you have to follow. Find a really good real estate agent. And that's how you get it. You get it by asking the groups. You get it by being really bulletproof. I don't want to do that. Attorneys are scary. That's how I felt. I felt like, oh my gosh, these attorneys, it is so frightening, right? It is, what if they ask me questions I don't know? They're in these, high towered offices, and they're leather bound books and then mahogany and the whole thing. Or they've got this like new aged all glass, offices and all these other things, and you feel intimidated. Stop. Remember, the guys in suits get paid by the guys in pajamas. The guys in suits get paid by the guys in t-shirts that have a rectangle with 3 letters inside of them that say TTP. That's how guys in suits get paid. Okay. They work for you. You are the customer. Okay. Like, go with confidence. And by the way, attorneys are going to be huge in your board of directors. All right. It's intimidating at first. It was super intimidating when I was like 23, 24. Oh my gosh. I didn't grow up around attorneys. I didn't even know what was going on with attorneys. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. Stop. Truly, they're hourly workers. They're awesome and they're incredible. And some of them are expensive, but they're necessary for sure. This isn't just flipping Pokemon cards, right? This isn't flipping cars. This isn't flipping, garage sale stuff like Gary V. This is the biggest sale that most people will do in their life. You want to make sure that you understand all of the legalities, and you want to make sure that you can build a long-lasting business. Next, pick your marketing service area. Where are you going to do business? Where are you going to do business? And then you got to commit to a monthly marketing budget. I have no money. Great. You have to door knock. Can you afford gas? Can you afford a bicycle? Can you borrow a bicycle? Do you live in a city where you could take a bus, get dropped off, and go door knock? If you literally have no money. Now, I think most people have $500 for a budget is what I see. And I would use that towards Deal Machine to get the lists, and to use as your CRM, and to get Matt, put our little affiliate code, because I think they get super hooked up with Deal Machine. Deal Machine, and then Mojo Dialer. We don't have affiliate with them. Mojo Dialer. And that's really all you need, right? Am I missing anything, Andra? Mojo Dialer, Deal Machine, that can get you going. And that'll be well under $500. I think mojosells.com, the Mojo triple line dialer or single line dialer is anywhere from like $120 to $200. That might be heavy. And then you've got Deal Machine that's like, $100 to $150. Boom. So set up your monthly marketing budget. Now, if you have more, you have more. If you have $2,000, go do PPL, get some paper leads, get some inbound leads, but if you only have a small budget, you got to be proactive. You have to go outbound. All right. Build your marketing lists. This is when you're pulling your list, driving for dollars, absentee owners, vacant properties, get their phone numbers and upload those lists into Mojo, baby, press go. Tickety boo, flippity flap. We're having conversations with property owners that fast. Boom. And that's what you do. That's what you do from weeks 4 to 12 is you build your pipeline of leads. Build your pipeline of leads. And then I'm going to give you this motto to go through every day. It's like a chant. Right? For the next 90 days, I will maintain an attitude of progress, not perfection. I promise myself I will take massive, imperfect action every day. I will maintain a single focus on wholesaling. I will keep a sense of urgency and have a speed of implementation around Brent's instruction. I will seek discomfort daily, undertaking what is most uncomfortable. As a result, I will achieve financial freedom. Am I brainwashing you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Here's the Kool-Aid. Drink it up. Drink it up. But I'm telling you, you go through that every single day. Every single day. That's our 90-day motto. That's our 90-day motto. That's what's going to keep you focused on all those things that we just went through over the last 28 minutes. All right? Complete your cold calling and do your lead follow-up before any other business-related activities. Building your pipeline is your number one priority. When cold calling, start by following up with your hottest leads first. Check yourself for doubt, disappointment, and distractions. Listen to the Wholesaling Inc. and recommended audiobooks whenever you are driving. Stay active in your real estate investing groups. And remember, focus and consistency is how you succeed. Sing it with me. Focus and consistency is how you succeed. Woo! I should be a cheerleader. Ryan Thornton, my acquisition manager, was a superstar cornerback on the football team. We played football together. After football, became a cheerleader. I should have him on. He'll do some cheers. Here's some cheers. So that's it, guys. That is the 90-day action plan. Make sure you take some screenshots of this. I apologize if it's small, but take a screenshot, zoom in. Maybe we can put a link to this. Can we put a link to this, Handra? Is there a way that we could put it in the chat or in the comments section so people have this? We'll figure that out for you guys. But if you guys are getting value out of this, if this is good information, good instruction, will you put it into the chat? The feedback loop is so important to us. We really need to understand if things are making sense and if it's valuable. Obviously, the more people that watch it, we kind of get that, but the feedback is really, really, really important. All right. So make sure that you guys give us some comments there in the chat. And we're going to put the link so that you can join us and ask some questions here in just a bit. But there's one man who stands a giant among other men. Who's ready for Tom Croll? Who's ready? Who's ready? Tom.
Bam! You know who keeps attorneys on retainer? Guys in Hawaiian shirts, not pajamas. Come on, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Bam!
That's what I'm saying. I assume that's what your pajamas look like anyway. You know
better
what I mean?
believe it. You better believe it. Well, it's funny. Here's a little inside tip for anyone looking for an attorney. There's two types, right? There's two types. There's the one that you call and they pick up the phone. They have books behind the case, right? And then you have the one where you call them and Gladys says, you can't get Jerry right now. He's in court. Boom! That's the guy I want. In court. Trial attorneys keep you out of trouble. Trial attorneys keep you out of trouble. If they're sitting behind a desk with a 3-piece suit and 1,500 books, you want the guy where his thing, there's no button on his shirt, his unbuttoned, his tie's down. He's sweating. His briefcase is walking around. He's coming in from court, going into court. I can't go today. I'm in court today. That's the guy that you want. That's the one who knows everybody that you need to know. There you go.
He's got like spots on his pants. He's got like brown socks, just killer. Just an absolute
well-connected.
savage.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was listening to that whole grit and overcoming doubt. I remember we had a guy who came into Wholesaling Inc. once. He had nothing to start. He had nothing, and he went. I mean, talk about I am going to do this or I am going to die trying. Right? This was Rachel Ray. Didn't go to culinary school. This is what it was. He went to Walmart, and when Walmart palletizes the boxes, there's a huge piece of thick cardboard that goes on top of the pallet before you put the boxes on the pallet. He went to Walmart. They were throwing piles of them in the dumpster. So asked if he could he got permission. I got to get this guy's name. Oh, man. Went and got them, cut them, glued them together because they were too flimsy, and made bandit signs. I love it.
It's amazing.
When you have that kind of grit and determination and perseverance and willpower and discipline, focus, attention, oh man, you're just all in. I am going to do this or die trying. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care if my neighbors see me putting out a bandit sign. You're unstoppable. It's the fear of success that holds everybody back. Just go out and do it or die trying. We haven't lost a client yet. I love it.
Tom, do you have an event coming up?
Coaches, course creators, community leaders, Orlando, April 28th and 29th. Just shoot me an email. It's what's the email? The email's not even up yet. It's tk1100@yahoo.com. If you are running a mastermind or if you have a community, a group, if you're a coach, a consultant, whatever it is, we're going to put a group together just for us. It's a summit, and it is going to be the best of the best of the best, the biggest names. We're gonna get you there eventually, very, very soon. I know not this one, we're tied up, but next one we'll get you down there. The next one is in Tampa in October, but April, Orlando, 2025. Bam! Have a great adventure, brother.
So, Tom, let me ask you this: you don't have an Instagram?
Not really. I've been told I
think you might, but like, why not? Like, are you just too old for it, or is it just too confusing? Would it be too big of a distraction? Yep. Why don't you have an Instagram? It's crazy.
Brother, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you the little secret. Guys, here's the secret. This is the secret. First of all, if you're the owner of your company, right, and you come in and you have to meet with the marketing people, right, you have to meet with the market. They use all these fancy, right, acronyms and loss leader, funnel, ROAS. Oh, ROAS. I still to this day, no idea. Right? Like, oh, ROAS is good. I'm like, okay, great. They use all these terms, right? Response rate, follow rate, I can pour into all the owners right now. If you're an entrepreneur, a founder, if you're starting a company, you're running the company, give yourself whatever title you want. Director of Good News, right? All right, here's what you got. All marketing is going to be broken down categorically into 3 buckets. That's it, right? So when you come into these meetings and they're using all these fancy vanity numbers and all this stuff, and you're sitting there as the owner and you're like, I really have no idea what they're talking about. Here's the way to partition it in your brain and decompartmentalize it so that you can be an effective leader and a team player and protect your team and your community and your clients and your customers and everything else. All marketing, 3 categories: get attention, keep attention, convert attention. So the first thing you want to be doing in your brain when they're talking about all this jargon and they're being esoteric, meaning like and by the way, the marketing people, I love them, right? But a lot of them do it on purpose because, Donald Miller teaches us this, right? When you confuse, you lose, right? But they're like, hey, if I can throw vanity numbers at this guy all day, I'm safe. So here's what you want to do. Is the problem that we're trying to find, remember in business, guys, right? Problems are elusive, solutions are easy. So ask yourself, the problem that we're trying to solve is the causality in that we're not getting attention, right? Like we call this the invisible man, meaning like it's like no one's even seeing what we're doing to find sellers or whatever the particular, I don't care, with houses, door hinges, victory bells, it doesn't matter, right? So whatever you sell or buy, are we getting attention? Number 1. Second problem, are we holding that attention? Is it actually just getting thrown out, or are people reading it, right? And think of the best way to pitch your marketing is go downtown, right? You go downtown with Aaron and you go to a downtown restaurant and look at the chalkboard sign First thing is, where is a chalkboard sign? Is it interrupting traffic on the sidewalk and people tripping over it? Great. That's what I want. I want people, if I don't get a lawsuit once a year from someone tripping over my chalkboard sign, it's not getting enough attention. It's too far in the corner. Put it out in front. Are people reading it when they stop and see it? Or is it like a car alarm, right? They see it and then they go right back to what they're doing, right? That's the car alarm problem. It's not holding attention. What does it say? Does it need to be bigger? Does it need to be brighter? Do we need to change the color of the backboard? Is the sun reflecting on it? They can't see the message. And then finally, is it converting? The people who are reading it, are they coming in? Are they calling? Is it actually turning? So why don't I have an Instagram? Because marketing follows 9 rules. The first rule is it's got to be copied, right? Meaning don't use your entrepreneurial creativity to invent new marketing. Just follow Brent. It's got to be big. Most people don't want to sell a home. The ones who do don't want a low price. It's got to be consistent. And the fourth rule is of the 9 is it's got to be singular. Whenever you go into a room, go into a mastermind, a conference, a summit, whatever. Whenever you go in, ask the rookie, how did you find your last lead? Or how did you find your last customer? And this is what they're going to say. Well, I'm all over Facebook, Instagram. I talk to the agents. I billboards, TV ads, radio. I also do cold calling and direct mail and bandit signs. And that's what they all say. I'm going to be everywhere, right? And they're nowhere.
Right.
Talk to somebody who's putting $100K in their pocket every single month, consistently, no questions asked, month after month after month, rain, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Memorial Day, whatever, right? What do you do to get your leads? What do you get to do your customers? Oh, I found this one channel. I've got it completely up and running. I know the color, the time of day, the font, the message, the CPA. And then I delegated it to somebody whose entire livelihood comes in from that channel. And they're 100% married to it. They think about it before they go to bed. They wake up and they think about it. And it runs now without me. And then we went on to 1 or 2 other channels. Because business is easy and owners are complicated. So follow the ancient principles of business. Focus more on fewer things. Focus more on fewer things. Life is
how
easy.
important is the first 90 days? Well, that's a very broad question. How important is the first 90 days? Very. No. What was it? 2010, 2011, you start in real estate?
Something like that. Yeah.
Right. You did 100 deals in your first year.
100 deals in my first year. And here's what I would say. Yeah, well, go ahead. What's your question? But yeah, go ahead.
So the first 3 months, what was that? What was that like?
Well, first deal was Dorothy. Who
was that like day one?
No. Todd had to pull me kicking and screaming, crying. I'm like, California is so big and Florida is so small and houses are so expensive in California. They're so cheap in Florida. And that doesn't work. And you have a much bigger population in California. And nobody's going to sell there. So he had to drag me. I was kicking and screaming and whining and complaining the whole time. But what I would say is, everyone will say when we were starting, right, when I was Wholesaling Inc., right, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? No. Who do I have to become? Who do I have to become? That's every single man and woman of consequence, every man and woman in the arena where everyone else is in the stands, either making fun of them or giving them advice or they have a ton of opinions about what's happening in the arena. They're not in the arena. When you make that decision that I'm going to get in the arena and I am going to literally I just saw Morgan Freeman. I brought this up last time. I saw him do this. Every single man and woman of consequence. Tony Robbins teaches us that decisions are made in an instant, right? Yeah. Every single good man and good woman of consequence, they make a decision of who they're going to be and what they're going to do. And it's a lot of people talk about like discipline and willpower. It's not that. Yes, there is. You have to use a little bit of that for the consistency. But when I want it, I am, brother. I am going to do it. And that's what happened. So and here's the other thing. When you go through that season of becoming like salty and really like not really not caring, like I am not going to lease a car because of what people think of me. When you finally cross that threshold, you really do become unstoppable. you could have hit me with the baseball bat. I remember I would go out and people would be like, oh, I know him. You're the guy always on the phone outside, like walking back and forth in your house. Yeah, because all the babies were sleeping. And I had to do that because I had to sell my golf cart. And we were going to lose the house if I didn't do that. And I knew the owners. And you just have got to make that decision. You have to realize how much is inside of you to do it. And then once you do it, yes, it's people look at that and they say, oh, he's so disciplined. No, it wasn't disciplined. It was, I was going to do it or I was going to die. That was
survival.
It was survival. You have to get that in your belly to be, it's not like I was waking up every day like, oh, I have to make phone calls I don't want to make. No. I had made the decision. This is who I am. I'm going to go through a season of hustle. So I don't have to have a lifestyle of hustle. So I could wear a Hawaiian shirt in the middle of the day and go out and pick mangoes. That's what I wanted, right? So, and everybody wants something different. I suggest everyone listening plants a garden because there's no better analogies or metaphors than a garden and business. But I think that's really, I would say the first 90 days, it's the rest of your life.
Yep. The 100 deals that you did, how many acquisition managers did you have? How many disposition managers did you have? How many lead managers did you have? What was your team like when you did 100 deals your first year?
So I started off with a team of about 27 people, and this is my teammate right here. This was my teammate.
Your phone.
It was my phone.
For everybody listening, Tom's whole team was his cell phone.
Yes.
100 deals, yourself, you had Lorena.
Well, I was just going to say,
and then you brought on Dan, right?
So let me be totally transparent here. So I started, my first deal was Dorothy, and she sold me her house because her husband had just passed away. She was moving to South Carolina to move in with her boyfriend. I went to the house with an agent. And she asked the agent to leave. And the agent said, hey, he's just going to turn around and sell this property and make a huge profit. And Dorothy said, I understand that. I want to sell it to him because I said, he's going to list your property and you have to do showings and he's going to get you more money, but it's going to take more time. And she said, I want to sell it to you. So we did the deal. And I didn't know, by the way, anything, because I would call Todd and say, hey, what should I do next? And he would be like, when you ask me questions, it's an objection. And it tells me that you don't really trust me. And he would hang up the phone. So I literally had like a piece of paper and like nothing. I had nothing. As a matter of fact, I didn't even really know when I did the deal what an assignment fee was. So that caused a whole other issue because I had to go and I had to like basically ask the buyer to
know what an assignment fee was.
I had no idea. I literally didn't include it in anything.
Did you know any of the real estate verbiage on the purchase agreement? Did you know what the process of escrow and title was? Did you have a Rolodex of private money lenders that that you were having coffee with every morning? Did you have
I had nothing. I had grit, determination, perseverance.
And you had 100 deals.
In the first year. And here, it was right around
when
there.
Did you hire Lorena?
Well, I was just going to say, so I hired Lorena and I want to make sure I'm giving accurate information. It was, Lorena came in probably, so what had happened was that, the first thing that had happened was I was writing things like on a piece of paper. So I would do like this and I would write it. I'd be like, okay, call Nancy. And then that would end up in between my seat and my car and I would never find it again. And Nancy would have sold her house. So then I brought on Lorena and then I realized she was like, oh, you have to have, at that time we used high rise. I just wanted a cheap, everyone wastes so much money on all these tools. And
it was like $5 a month or something.
$10 a month, high rise. Yeah. $10 a month. I remember that. So I was like, $10, come on, you can't get it. He's like, it's.
And Lorena was in the Philippines.
Lorena was in the Philippines.
Still is, I should say. Lorena now works with all of us, but works with me here at Wholesaling Inc. She's the best of the best. I mean, talk about hitting the lottery with Lorena. But you brought her.
Well, let me say this. It's not, I didn't hit the lottery. What happened is that when you make a decision, the universe will conspire to support you to get to the land that you're going to. Every single thing will start to happen coincidentally or serendipitously. It's not. The universe responds to clarity and effort. And if you just stay in consistently every day, you're going to find, because the people are miserable and they're treated awfully and terribly and hourly. People want to be a part of something good and wholesome, and that they want to be a meaningful part. And yes, they want to be paid. And believe me, when I hired Lorena, right, it was like, in the background. And now she's like, I know she's doing very well. So the money part of that, but you attract. This is actually the whole difference, is when you make decisions properly, you stop chasing and you start attracting. This is why Dan Kennedy is so amazing. And all of the greatest men and women throughout history, they're not chasing exhausted. That's how you get burnout. That's how you end up getting all kinds of problems in your life: debt, divorce, health, legal, taxes, and just a disgusting mess. The problem is, as a man or a woman, you have to understand there is more power in attracting than in chasing. And you can focus on less and do more and have exponential results or compound results. Albert Einstein teaches us it's the most powerful force in the whole universe. That comes from attracting, not from getting exhausted chasing. So we hired Lorena. She was awesome. And then I was in the CRM and I was still missing every single lead.
So you're doing direct mail, right?
Yeah.
And they were calling you, leaving voicemails at the time. You would call them back, go through the script, set an appointment, go on that appointment, sign the contract, go out and put that in front of your buyers, sell the deal yourself. For how long? For the whole year?
Was I by myself?
Deals? Were you doing everything soup to nuts? I don't even know where did that phrase come from? I love it, but
yeah, there's not a lot of what do you call it in my soup? But here's what I would say. I don't remember, but here's what I will say. I know for sure. I brought in Lorena. I was still in my CRM. It was a mess. So then I said, no. I said, Lorena, I need you 24 hours a day. I want you to just send me 3 tasks a day every morning at 8 a.m. of what's in my CRM, and forget all this. I'm going to follow up in 4 weeks. You either want to sell the house or you don't. I'm not waiting 4 weeks, because in my brain at the time I'm going to wait 4 weeks because you have to go decide something. So all that is silly. So I said, Lorena, just every single day go into this. I said, I never want to go into the CRM again ever for the rest of my life, which I still can't to this day. I can't log into my current CRM, which is true.
Tom, you can barely log into your email.
I can't log into my email, by the way. Yes. By the way, I can't if you send an email to tom@coachinginc.com, God's honest truth, I cannot log into it. Something went wrong and it's sitting my Apple Mail. I have no idea how to get it. That's not an exaggeration. But what I would say is that I said, I don't want to be in the CRM. And then she said, fine. And we set up this little, I don't know if we used WhatsApp at the time or something else, but I said, just send me 3 tasks first thing in the morning. That's your job. 3 tasks. Give me the name, the address, and the phone number.
That's all you need.
Right. And then I said, as soon as I call one, I'm going to leave you a voicemail on WhatsApp. And I'm going to say, hey, Lorena, on 123 Main Street, send out a contract or schedule a call back for a week or blah, blah, blah. Or they're totally dead or they already sold. And then as soon as she would get that, she would update the CRM and then she would send me my next task. I started that process with 1 task at a time, but then there were delays. So when you start with 3, there's always 3 in the queue ready to go no matter what.
Right.
And it was great. And then also there were some mobile home communities. So some of those I was flipping mobile homes, and those are a lot faster because there was a lady I was working with, and she had said, when I went to meet her, she said, oh, well, a lot of times they just leave us the mobile home. They leave it to the park. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, we don't want to do that. Let's get these guys some cash. So that was how I was able to hit such a high number. And also, it was a different time, but here's what I would say. You can still hit the same revenue number. It's just fewer, bigger deals.
Yeah.
I have clients now. I look at what they're doing and it's phenomenal because you can still Yeah, I mean, it's the great. There's no better thing to cut your teeth as an entrepreneur than wholesaling. There's nothing better.
Well, and I love it. And you've always had an interesting perspective, Tom, that really shook up my mindset because I got into real estate young, relatively young at 22. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad at 18. I was on that path. It was always in my mind. It was never on your mind. It was never what you wanted to do. It was just what you did because one, you had to, because you had all these kids running around and a mortgage and a life, and you had started a landscaping business, sold it, and they kept you on until they fired you.
They sure did.
And so there you are. And so Todd, your stepbrother, who you lived with and who's been doing huge real estate businesses and deals for forever, brought you under his wing, was your real mentor. But you were never really like, oh, I need to build a $10 million real estate wholesaling business. I need to do this. You actually, you started with the podcast, it exploded because nobody's heard somebody like Tom Croll ever before, especially in 2015,
right,
14, when podcasts were just baby. And then you come out as a real estate outsider. All the other podcasts before that were these boring ass bigger pockets podcasts with people that were just hypothesizing or telling you about property management or telling you about financing and telling you about blah, 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 or somebody that was real technical and boring. Here you come, boom, go bananas, start a coaching business, sell the coaching business, still have your real estate business, but then sell it essentially to your brother, Dan, who's doing phenomenal with that. And you just, I feel like you used this as like a testing ground for a lot of different businesses and a lot of different things you wanted with your life, but it wasn't always, it wasn't, I feel fulfilled by finding ugly houses and flipping them. You know what I mean? And I think that that's a really interesting perspective for everybody. If this is just your springboard, fantastic.
Oh yeah.
If it's going to be your life like mine, fantastic. But this is, there's two sides of this. But the lessons that you learn from the conversations and the skills that you build and the offers that you make here can be used in all businesses. And so that's why I bring on Tom is really telling you about business. He's not going, okay, guys, this is what's working for me right now. Text message. This is the exact script that you need. Watch me make calls to these property owners. Let me do all this and this, which is valuable, which I love that people do that. We break some stuff down on this channel, but really the business principles that you learn, I feel it's the lowest barrier to entry as an entrepreneur to go out, find an ugly house, find somebody that wants to buy that ugly house and make a 5-figure check.
Right. And learn that you can do that. You know, you learn that you can do that you have the muscles and intelligence to do.
Right.
I barely graduated. I mean, anybody could do this stuff, and it's a great place to start, and it can be a starting point. I remember I used to go speak on, stages, and, I would say, who in here loves real estate? And I was like, what? And they would go, nobody. If you love real estate, right? Forget, first of all, let me just say this, forget what you love. The market, if you want to get what you want, you have to do what other people love. You are providing a phenomenal service. You can be brutally honest because you could say, listen, if you go with an agent, you can get more money. It's going to take a little longer, right? You can say, if you want to become a landlord, you could hold it. It'll probably go up in value. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do everything that I say I'm going to do. And these are really the principles in business. I have 88 principles. If you look at every one of them, they're found in wholesaling. They're found in data companies. They're found in door hinge companies. Revenue in first position, you know them, right? All of them, all the way down. Never partner when you can hire. Rule number 4. I'm talking to somebody out there right now. I have a reputation in this business for breaking up partnerships. I do it with a big smile because it will cause more suffering than anything else that you could possibly do. But yeah, I think
it's one of the deepest conversations I have with the students in the Rhino Tribe is, hey, I'm doing all the work and my partner's not doing anything. And I signed up for the coaching and they didn't really go through it. And they're, I feel like half my money is gone and I'm really not making anything from this. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Listen, without a doubt, you have to understand this. And until you pay a lot of taxes, you don't understand this. You already have a business partner. It's the federal government. It's the IRS. They are your business partner. I mean, I think I paid like 42% in taxes between state and federal.
That's
right?
Crazy.
Like, and you want to take half and half, and then you go, well, I don't want to go into the next tax bracket, so I'll just keep my expenses down, my income down, and that'll be great. Come on.
And it's also, this goes back to what
I actually thought that, Tom.
Yeah.
I actually would get more expenses, so I would pay less in taxes. That's what I would do. And it torpedoes the business every single time. And if you're giving half of the net profit away to somebody else that is certainly not pulling their weight, it's done. The only time I see it work in real estate, Tom, is one person is phenomenal at raising funds and the other person's phenomenal at finding deals. That's it.
There's nothing wrong with partnerships. I'm in partnerships all over the whole country.
Sure.
Literally, I couldn't even name all the different companies where I'm a partner or board seat, equity, rev share. There's nothing wrong with them. It's the lie. It's the, I'm good at this, Brent is good at that, and I'm not good at this, and Brent is, and that's all a lie. You don't need any of that for wholesaling. And this is what we were talking about earlier about who you have to become. It's not, first of all, with partnerships, here's the deal real quick. Just start with what you're not going to do. I'm not working all the time. In every partnership, in anything that's good and wholesome like that, there's usually a show horse and a workhorse, right? You partner with Kevin O'Leary or Barbara Cochran, right? You think they're going to work 8-10 hours a day? The last thing you want is Julie or Aaron or your spouse or your husband or wife coming up to you and saying, yeah, you're doing great, but how come you're working like 10 hours a day and Jerry, I haven't seen him in 6 months and you're splitting everything with him 50-50. If you think you have partnership problems when you start, wait till you start making money. That's when families are literally torn apart. So all of these rules, all of these principles, these are all tried and true. They're ancient. They've been around for 3,000 years. Don't trust anything new. New is bad. That's new is bad.
Well, new is just a white label, in my opinion. I think all this, it's just a different take on it, but it's saying the same thing.
That's really very true. Yeah.
I mean, if you read Think and Grow Rich, if you read anything from Earl Nightingale, anything from Napoleon Hill, and then Earl Nightingale has just been reskinned and put into parables and put into creative stories. And most of them, by the way, are written by the same copywriters.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, Tony Robbins came from Jim Rohn came from Robert Shelfer. I mean, there's
they all came from Earl Nightingale.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best. So I think, you have to but you have to make a decision, and you just have to, getting back to that, what you're, that anything that's complicated or tools, guys, let me give you one of the rules. Revenue, tools chase revenue.
Yep.
Revenue doesn't chase tools. So make sure that you are totally stressed out and you are you're putting stress on all your systems, right? Robert told me it's called redlining, right? So you want to make sure everything's redline, like the CRM redline, and then go out and buy Salesforce, HubSpot, Infusion, whatever. But you need to fill the coffers with cash. You need revenue in first position, not a website, not a logo, not a brand color. Please, if anybody has a brand color, oh man, that gives me literally my heart skips a beat.
What are you talking about? Literally, the color of that room you're in is your color, man. It's your brand color.
You know how I picked this color? I like the color orange since I've been in high school. And I went to Home Depot, and the guy I didn't go to Home Depot, to be totally honest, right? But somebody went to Home Depot. The guy who does all the handiwork around here. It's not me. I can't even change a light bulb. That's not even a fake story. That's real news. I have a guy who changes light bulbs, but I'm telling you, it's easy. Don't overthink it.
Yep.
You guys can do it. Believe in yourselves, and it's and just make that decision of who you have to be, and then read 8 pages a day.
That's it.
You'll never. Here's the one I'm reading right now. Unforgettable. It's not really for real estate investors, but always 8 pages every day, no matter what. Psychology of Winning. Oh man, so good.
So good. Tom Croll, everybody, guys. Coachinginc.com. Coachinginc.com. If you are a teacher, if you are a coach, you need Tom in your life. Tom, you're the best.
God bless, brother. Enjoy the
Love
day.
you,
Talk soon. Bye-bye. Love you.
Absolutely incredible. We got Chris Jefferson coming up in just a couple of minutes. He just texted me that he's going to jump on here. He's going to be talking all about AI. And I'm not talking about Allen Iverson. Wow, Gen Z's loving me today. All right. No, he's going to be coming on. It's going to be absolutely incredible. He's going to be talking about this. Guys, right there is the action plan. You can download it right in the chat. If you're watching this afterwards, or if you're listening to this, go to the Brent Daniels YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. The algorithm likes that. The algorithm. It's so what is the algorithm? Who knows? It's probably AI. Yeah, it's fake. Yeah. Anyway, but guys, download it there. There's your checklist. That's a little taste of what our coaching is like in Wholesaling Inc. If you're interested in taking it to the next level, getting full mentorship, working with me personally and my team, we do over 40 hours of support calls. You get my cell phone number directly. Go to wholesalinginc.com. If that feels good in your gut, sign up for a call and have a conversation with us. Thank you, Edwin. I'm throwing out some good 80s and 90s references today just to keep it fun and light. Let's go to some questions as we're waiting for Chris Jefferson. So, is the Wholesaling Inc. Academy under maintenance? Yes, that kept getting hacked. Apparently Mother Russia loves my content, apparently, or perhaps is it the Kingdom of China? What is it? The Empire of China, I think it is, or the Chinese Empire. Somebody's hacking me from outside of the country. I don't know how it's happening, but they are. They love it. They can't get enough of it. I'm like a celebrity there. If I ever go there, they'll just hoist me on their shoulders and they'll throw me around. They'll be like, finally, you're here. And I'll be happy. Right. And they'll be happy, but that's the reason it's not. But we're looking to, I might be doing, a interesting subscription-based plan where, if you don't have a budget, or you kind of want to taste test us for a little bit, we'll let you into that, or get you into that and get you going. But yeah, for some reason it kept getting hacked. So there you go. I'll get to the rest of these questions in just a second, because we've got him. Oh boy. Strap in. He is not a robot, but he controls them all. It is Chris Jefferson. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? It's good to see you, man. How are you?
It's been too long.
I know, man. I know. It's good to see you, man.
Way too long.
Absolutely, man. What do you tell me what you're up to, man? What are you guys doing?
Listen, so today's show is all about the first 90-day action plan.
There you go.
Right? Really setting the foundation, really staying focused, really staying consistent, really making sure that we work off of data and not drama, and look at the first 90 days as a project, not as this big challenge, or not as this big, hurdle we have to get past, but like a project. When you have a project, you can sink your teeth into it. It just kind of sets the mind a little bit different, and really digging into why, really going into the 7 levels of why you want to accomplish any goal, but especially the goal of doing your first deal or building your first business or whatever it is, really understanding that, because entrepreneurship, Chris, as you know, is a daily kick in the nuts. Okay.
Yeah, it is, man.
Or lady nuts, as we said, for those incredible lady entrepreneurs out there. But you've got some exciting things going on, man. Over the last 18 months, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, you have just been on an absolute tear, like a rocket ship. So what are you doing, and what would you have people do in the first 90 days to really build their momentum?
Yeah, man, that's a good question, right? So, look, a couple of years ago, I started teaching people how to do real estate in 2020, right? Came out, did your podcast, was doing some different things as well. And, I've taught thousands and thousands of people, around like 5,000 something people over the last couple of years. And so, a couple of years back, I was looking at that and I'm like, man, there's people that are like getting stuck still, right? And I realized that at that time, I didn't have enough respect on, how difficult the process of wholesaling could be for somebody just starting out of the box. Maybe you've heard of wholesaling before, maybe you've tried it before. But what I noticed the most is that people are trying to get started and they've got full-time jobs.
Yep.
Okay. And a lot of people struggle, like I used to, with time management. Yep. And like struggling with, how do I balance trying to actually wholesale and do a wholesale business when I've just got off work and I've got kids, I've got a family, I've got obligations. And so right around this time, we started hearing about ChatGPT, AI, I don't know if you guys remember that spring where it like went crazy, where everybody was talking about it. It was all over the news, all of that. Very shortly after that, we kind of came across realizing that we could create chat bots to have conversations, using ChatGPT, using AI. So we ended up building out a AI bot that could go communicate with homeowners for us. And because that was part of the problem, right? Most people have fear of communication, especially when they're new. And it's not that they're always scared to talk to somebody. They often have a fear of what to say, saying the wrong thing. And that's because we emotionally invest too much into the singular conversations, right? And so we built this AI chat bot that could go out and communicate to homeowners for us, have conversations with them, inquire about, are they interested in selling their property, what the property condition might be, what their motivation is, what their timeline is. And then it schedules an automated phone appointment for you to then talk to that homeowner. And so why is that beneficial? Well, while you're at work, while you're doing different things, this bot is actively going out and talking to people so that you're only talking to the people who are actually interested in raising their hand and selling their property. And so what we ended up doing, right, is when you just back up for a second and think about that, we're teaching people how you can generate massive amount of leads using automation and using AI, right? To have a lot of those conversations. But I think most people don't realize that if you can generate an opportunity or a lead in wholesaling, that you can monetize that and make a lot of money, right? That's a value. And so what we teach a lot of now is what we call hands-off wholesaling, which is, how can you use this AI bot to go have conversations with homeowners, identify the ones who are interested, schedule them on your calendar while you're at work or while you're doing whatever, or maybe you've got somebody else in the Wholesaling Inc community or a friend, whoever, family member that also has the ability to take calls while you're at work.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe you have somebody in here and you can squat up and they can actually talk to people for you while you're at work. Maybe they have no money and they've got time, and maybe you've got no time, but you got some money, right? And have that person talk to the homeowner for you. But either way, it schedules an appointment on your calendar. You then talk to that person. What we talk about is how to have a setter conversation with somebody and reconfirm, their interest, and really kind of start to gather some information like asking price, stuff like that, and then closing deals from there. But how you close the deal is by generating that lead and then handing it off to somebody else more experienced than you in that first 90 days. See, you can lose a lot of time in your initial 90 days, like trying to run behind individual opportunities. Brent, I know you've been there. I've been there, where you get obsessive about individual leads when you're starting out because you want to do a deal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right? you gotta just coddle them. You gotta love that. Oh, I'm gonna get this deal. You're already spending the money, Chris.
Already spending the money.
$20K in my account by the end of the month, bro.
Exactly, man. So we've all been there. And so when you coach and you teach people, you see people that get stuck there all the time, right? And so what we're teaching people about heavily right now is hey, that's all good, but if you just focused on creating the opportunity and then handing those deals to people that are more experienced, like Brent, like myself, or other people around you in your community, let them do the rest of the work for you. Let them worry about finding the buyer. Let them worry about making the offer. Let them figure out, dealing with the tenants and getting it to closing and all those things that you, as somebody working a full-time job, trying to carve out time to make this business work, you could get somebody to do all that for you and make 50% of the deal, 30% of the deal, something like that. So we're focused on teaching people how, there's this thing called wholesaling that exists. And we're not saying that you can't be a wholesaler. You can be a wholesaler. But to effectively be a wholesaler, you need to make some money.
Yeah.
And so how can you make money fast within 30, 60, 90 days? It's by generating leads and getting to people, getting those leads to people with more experience that can move it along faster than you can. creating money from that. And then as money gets created, now you start to keep building out your underlying team. Or for a lot of people, Brent, they just generate leads forever and continue to get paid off of generating as many leads as possible for people.
So are you generating leads from text message marketing?
Exactly. So text message marketing, having conversations with people. We're doing a lot of PPL as well. So for anybody in here, I've been seeing some of your ads too, Brent. You guys do PPL, stuff like that. PPC,
yeah, PPC,
right?
Yeah.
PPC. And so what happens is, you do PPC and somebody comes to your site, usually late in the evening, middle of the night, they fill out a form, they're not always just filling out your form. And so what generally happens is it's feast or famine. So it's like, who can get to those leads the fastest, right? Who can get to those conversations the fastest? And so what happens with a lot of people, you got a full-time job, you get a lead that came in overnight from PPC. You're not contacting that lead until you get off work. Following day, it's 24 hours later, right? And 20 hours later before you get in contact with that person. What we're doing with that is when that person fills that form and they click the submit button, there's an AI bot that's immediately contacting them. So if they fill that out, they're consenting to this, right? If they fill this out at 1 a.m., the bot's immediately starting a conversation with them at 1 a.m. to start gathering some information, scheduling an appointment with them to talk about their property. Because with PPC, it's like so important to be first to that lead, first to that conversation.
30 seconds.
Exactly. And then automated follow-ups is something that we're really heavy on as well. I know we all want to do deals on the first call, the first conversation as soon as we talk to somebody. In reality, though, that's not, generally what's going to happen, right? It's going to take some touches, some conversations. So we're also using AI to do automated follow-ups where the AI then goes out and texts back with these people over time as well. Mm-hmm. And as they express interest, the AI will then bring them back up to the front so that we know these are the people that we need to focus on.
So I feel like the AI part of this is learning how to communicate with property owners because a lot of that is automation, right? You could do a go high level platform. You could build automation into that. But what is being said and it learning how to effectively communicate, that's the AI part that you're talking about?
Exactly. So look, right, like when that conversation is being had, you want it to be an effective conversation. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, like I work with a lot of people who are brand new, working on their first deal. And like I was saying a minute ago, a lot of times they don't know what to say. And it's not even they don't know what to say, because maybe somebody like you or I are teaching them what to say, but they don't have the confidence.
Right.
Some of you guys, right, turn into a nervous Nelly when you get that first seller that says yes. Mm-hmm. You're like, what do I say? What do I do? How do I do this?
Well, that's the scariest part, right, Chris?
Right.
It's not the no's. The no's are like, oh, okay. It's the
yes. Right.
You're like,
because you don't want to mess it up. And that's understandable. So what we're saying is, use the AI, because the AI is not going to mess it up. Let the AI have the conversation. And then you're just getting them on a phone call. The AI is booking them into that phone call. And now it's a warm conversation. Now it feels like a PPC lead.
Sure.
Right. Because they've already been kind of warmed up a little bit. And then we're getting them on that call. And then in our business, our process, we teach, and everybody does it, a little bit differently. I'm not sure how you guys do it, but on that initial phone call, we call it a setter conversation, right? Yep. Where that person is not making an offer even on that first phone call. They're continuing to gather information, working to get asking price. Because once you make it about the money, then it becomes a negotiation. Mm-hmm. And then that's a little bit of a different conversation, right? So the job of the setter right off of the bot is to set up the closer to then come right behind them and effectively close that lead out. So when you're talking about making money in 90 days, you can make a significant amount of money in 90 days. Most people aren't trying to follow an exact process, though, to achieve that.
So what you saw an opportunity in the market that goes, okay, people love real estate. They hate working in their job, but they have to because they have responsibilities. So their schedule is congested. They only have a certain amount of attention that they can put towards this. And yeah, we get excited, we get going, but then it kind of like wanes over time because life is just coming at us in all different directions. But if you set it up where, okay, I'm going to spend X amount on either text messages or PPL. I'm going to have these leads come in. I'm going to have these, the AI chat bot, get them to the point where they're pre-qualifying them. And then I'm going to then pipeline them to people that are full-time. And
got it.
know how to close the deal, know how to negotiate the deal, know all the paperwork, know the title companies, know the closing attorneys, know the cash buyers, sell the deals, do all that, and then they get 30, 50% of the deal.
You got it. Right. So just think about this, guys, for a second. All right.
It's like your funding partner to get out of your job.
Exactly. And then now you're doing deals. And if you want to do the whole process after you're starting to make some money, cool. Or you can just keep generating lead after lead after lead and continue to let somebody else do the heavy lifting and take a percentage of the deal and compound it.
Sure.
All right. And what this does, you know, if you think about it very plainly, is, and you hit it spot on, is you can literally create like a lead machine. And some people will ask me, right? They'll be like, well, Chris, you know, how do I get Brent Daniels to work with me? Right. Because Brent, you know, like, you know, when we're doing these things and we're doing stuff online, everybody wants to talk to you, right? They want to connect with you. They want to do business with you. Guys, I'll tell you, the easiest way to do business with anybody is to have a lead for them.
Yeah, for sure.
To have an opportunity for them. Because if I call Brent and I'm like, hey, I got this lead, Brent, down in Arizona. You know, they're ready to go. This is the price that they're willing to accept. I'll give you all the contact information. I'm going to give you the call recording that we've already had. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, I want 30% of the deal. Yep. Hey, I want 40% of the deal. Guys, Brent's not going to tell me no. And the reason he's not going to tell me no is because in his business, he had no cost to acquire that customer.
Right.
It's essentially an infinite return in your business. So it creates a synergy where it works for everybody. Now we're all making money and growing together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, Chris, 1 to 3, I'll pay $1 to get 3 every time.
There you go.
I can go 1 to 4. Ooh, now you're rolling.
Yeah, now you're rolling.
Crazy, right? So
absolutely.
I love it. So let me ask you this: budget wise, with most of the people that, and I love your ads. You're like, oh, this real estate strategy that the banks are freaking out about, right? I mean, just genius. Just I'm giving you your flowers on that. It's absolutely incredible.
Appreciate it.
The average budget that it takes to, because you have to have enough. You're either going cheaper leads, real broad with the leads with PPL, or you have I would say probably $2,000 a month to spend on PPL in major markets to build any kind of momentum.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so break it down, PPL versus text message marketing.
Yeah, I got you.
What do you think the budget would have to be for the lead generation side to set some expectations for everybody listening and watching this?
Sure. So if you're going PPL route, right? So if you're saying PPL, you know, from, you know, whatever provider you guys use, and you're saying, hey, I want to go out and buy leads. When people fill out this form, I want it to kick into my CRM. You set up a webhook, kicks it into the CRM, bot picks it up, right? Yep. You got to have at least a budget of $2,500 for that. All right. If you got a budget of $2,500 and you're doing PPL with this process that I'm talking about, I mean, you're literally talking about creating contracts within 30 days. Now, and that's if you got that budget, right? Not everybody does, but if you've got $2,500 you can spend on marketing and you're not doing deals right now, there's a problem somewhere that exists, right? You literally could spend $2,500. There's a bunch of different providers out there. I think the average right now is around $150 on a lead, I believe, something like that.
Do you have a preference there, Chris, by the way?
Yeah, I've used a bunch of different ones, man. Speed to Lead has been really good for us over the last couple of months. We've had a lot of success with them. Property Leads has been good as well. But Speed to Lead has been really, really good for us and, you know, producing some good results. So that lead comes in, you got $2,500 and you've also got on there, they've got like their coupon club on there, which are some, you know, they're a little bit dated leads, but what you can do with those is send the bot out to those people as well. Right.
It's a no brainer if you're having a bot do it. No brainer.
Yeah. So that's
like what, $29, $39 a lead.
$29. Exactly. Yeah. So that's on the PPL side. Now on the just text messaging side, right? And I'll say this too, you know, if we do a lot of cold outreach still with texting, a significant amount, we haven't had any compliance issues, knock on wood. Our users don't have compliance issues as well. But you guys are in business, right? So there's, whatever risk you take in your business, the risk you take in your business. And so on that, you only need around $500. And I'll explain what I mean by that. All right. So you need a list. Okay. Now in our software that we use, right? In our software, though you can get a list of 15,000 records for $50. All right. And so that's without skips, right? So let's just say that we want to get a list of, 5,000 people. Brent, who do you use for skip tracing?
Deal Machine.
All right. So do you know how much they charge per record?
You get free skip tracing for 10,000 records a month. And that's $159 a month or something.
All right. That's crazy. All right. That's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah. So that's even better.
I would say, to be fair, Chris, I would say if the best of the best skip tracing is 100, I would say that it's probably a 78 when it comes to accuracy and updating and that type of thing. So it's not the best of the best, but volume wise and
so that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So all right. So I like that you said that. And here's why I like that you said that, because there is a tier data that exists out here, but you can make a lot of money on 70 out of 100 data. Okay. Especially when you're getting started. The problem is though, if you're only pulling a list of 500 or 1,000, if you're going 70 out of 100 tier data, you need more records. Sure. All right. So let's just look at it like this. If you go take out, let's just say 5,000 records, because you said you get 10,000 a month for $150. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right. So I go get $150.
Records, yep.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. So I spent $150. Now I got 5,000 records skip traced. All right. I'm going to take those 5,000 records.
Dominique's coming at you, Chris. Really, Chris? Deal Machine?
Well, she doesn't know I own the data, so that's why I don't have to pay attention.
He has his own data, yeah.
Yeah, but so I love that. But I do know about Deal Machine, just not what they're doing now. So you got 5,000 records that cost you $150, and now you already got the phone numbers.
Yep.
You're taking that 5,000, you're loading it into the bot. The bot's not going to go contact all 5,000 of those at one time because you can't handle seeing 5,000 conversations at a time or 2,000 conversations at a time. So we recommend that you drip that sequence out for over a week or 2 weeks, depending on how you can handle it.
Sure.
And what'll happen is now I've just spent $150. So less than 500. I spent $150. I've loaded these contacts into this bot. The bot then is going out and having those conversations with people. Okay. And I'm managing the conversation. I just want to explain what I mean by that. When I say managing the conversation, the bot's having it, but sometimes maybe somebody says, yes, they're interested in selling. And maybe they respond to a text about property condition, but they fall off. Right. In our world, we're contacting those people. Right. But the bot is then, say they go all the way through the conversation sequence. They then book an appointment on your calendar. Now I've only spent $150 plus the cost of the software, which let's say it's another $150 or another $100.
Is that what your software costs?
$97 to $150. So if you've already got data, it's $97 a month, right? So you've spent $250.
You spent
$200. I agree. I agree.
Too inexpensive.
There you go. So $250. You now got live conversations happening with homeowners and with AI having these conversations. Now they're scheduling on your calendar. Now you're having a 10, 20, 30 minute, again, not a closed conversation. You're not trying to make the offer. You're not trying to do all that. All right. You're trying to build the relationship. You're trying to identify what problem they currently have that needs solving, because that's what we're doing. Right. So what problem do they have? And I'm gathering information to equip Brent when he goes to have that actual close conversation and go for the deal.
Yeah.
He's got all the information that he needs. And now on $300, now I'm creating money out of that because I've created leads.
Guys, the really cool thing is I was testing this. Chris presented this at the Family Mastermind back last year. And it's really cool because there's a delay, right? There's a delay in the response. It's not like some, bloop, 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 bloop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really trained the conversation to feel very natural, but also very attentive, right? It's not like something that is going to just flood people. They're like, oh my gosh, this is definitely a machine. You know what I mean? It feels like it's real. Now, are you saying that your platform does the text message form, or do they have to get a text messaging platform to send out all of the initial text to get the leads?
No. So you do it all from this one piece of software
for $97.
You got it right. So you do have to. Yeah. So now you pay for usage. You pay for your usage, right? But to put in perspective, now think about it like this, right? Because I like this, right? So think about it like this. I'm gonna pull it up. So when it comes to like, somebody will say, Brent, they'll say, well, that sounds good, but I got to pay for the usage. That's what somebody will say. Right.
Yep.
So we said, what did we say? 5,000 records.
Yeah.
So if I take 5,000 records, all right, I'm pulling this up. Let me get a calculator because I didn't pay attention all the time in math. Right. So if I got 5,000 records and want to contact, and let's just hypothetically say that all of those were bot messages. All right. So think about it like this: every $10 covers 235 messages. Right. So if I've got 5,000 messages that I'm trying to get out, that's going to cost me $215. All right. So I'm still under my 500 threshold.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So now I've contacted this entire list. I paid $150 on the data. I've paid $215 to contact it. And now I'm generating leads and opportunities, and I'm not losing the opportunity to monetize. Because again, I want to make sure everybody's catching this. I'm not trying to monetize myself. That's where a lot of people, Brent, make the mistake is, again, they're trying to do the whole process out the gate themselves.
Right.
I know everybody loves YouTube University. I know everybody loves scrolling on TikTok and watching live streams and doing all these different things. And so what happens is, unfortunately, a lot of people in that first 90-day run they're looking to make, Brent, they already feel like they know what to do. They already feel like they know the process. Oh, I just need a title company. Oh, I just need a cash buyer. Yep. Well, there's things required to do deals. Okay. The best thing you can do is get deals, get leads in the hands of people that know exactly what they're doing. Let them do it and have them pay you for the lead. Because here's the thing that I'm not saying, and Brent knows this, because if he didn't pay for the lead to me, if it would have came from somewhere else, it would have cost him to get it then also anyway.
Yeah, I've got right there at that second checkbox, find a local mentor. That's just somebody that's doing deals. It's just exactly right. Up. I mean, it is. And it is so critical because it gives you get to inherit their confidence. You know what I mean? That's what you get to do. Yes. You get to adopt it. You get to that's what you don't have to know everything and they're getting you through the finish line, and it's phenomenal. I love it, Chris. Let everybody know where they can find this, and we'll put it in the chat here.
Yeah, here's what you could do, man. You can go to offerbolt.io. All right, offerbolt.io.
I like, and I'll just tell you it's interesting. I'm seeing a lot of these text messaging like Launch Control. They're coming out with launch leads where they'll do all the text messaging for you and they'll send you the leads. I think it's more like a PPL model. And I see that is going to be more sustainable. You just listen, there's when you have stuff, people will naturally want to take your stuff. All right. So once you build a big company, if you are sending out a lot of text messages and it's coming from you, there's going to be lawsuits. I'm just telling you, there will be.
Well, when you're in business, that's going to happen. Yeah,
it's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. I love the PPL. I love the inbound. I love grabbing that stuff. If you're getting that $2,500, $3,500, $5,500 budget, let's go bananas, right? Like, let's get the PPL leads in and let's convert them and get it going. So,
if you can afford to go if you can afford to go PPL, PPC, PPL.
Yep.
That's the best quality lead that you can grab at the moment.
Yep.
If you're like I was when I got started 16 years ago, you're a little more budget challenged, right?
Sure.
then when you're budget challenged, you gotta get a little risky sometimes. All right. And here's what I mean, right? You guys can go to offerbolt.io and there'll be a pop-up in the top right-hand corner that if you go there, you can actually demo the bot yourself. So if you click on it, you can have a conversation as if you were the seller and the bot that could potentially use is having the conversation for you.
Yep.
All right. And see how throw something at the bot, see if you can throw it off. You don't do the bot setup yourself. It already comes fully set up. All you got to do is focus on having quality conversations, TTP, man, talking to people and producing money.
Offers, Chris.
Absolutely, brother.
Love it. Guys, go check that out. Offerbolt.io. Chris Jefferson, great to see you. It's been too long.
Hey, much love. We'll catch up, man. I appreciate you guys, man. And as always, Brent, I love what you're doing. And keep telling people to talk to people, man, because that's where the money's at. Much love, guys. Hope everybody has a great day. Peace, y'all.
Awesome. Interesting. To get your gears going, right? It's kind of interesting, right? It's a really cool bot. I tested it out. It was very intuitive. Very intuitive. I like it for the PPL move long term. I like setting things up. But like Chris was saying, if you're starting out and your budget's tight, what do you have to lose? So guys, give some love in the chat for Chris Jefferson if you're interested in that. Offerbolt.io/home. Probably just offerbolt.io. Guys, my next guest has never been on the show ever before. This is big time. Okay, guys. This guy, you know what I love? I love the story of, they came from nothing and they really grew it up and they made an absolute fortune from nothing. This is the opposite. Dan was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Okay. He's never really had to accomplish much. His dad's a well-known attorney. He's been given everything in life. And so now, yes, sure. Is he worth 20, 30, $40 million? Sure. Was it gifted to him? What is that called where you get the job because of your family? What is it? Huh? Privilege? No. What is it? Nepotism. If you look up nepotism in the dictionary, that is Dan Gibson. What's up, man?
Brent, what's going on? Appreciate that intro.
Obviously, I'm joking, guys. Dan has an incredible story. Dan, so you started out in real estate in 15 years ago?
Yeah, it's been 15 years now, right out of college. We actually bought our rental house that I was renting in college. So I guess that was my first management experience, was managing my idiot college friends.
Yeah, I bet that was fun.
Yeah. No, we actually just sold that house a few years back. God love it. It took a beating. I think we owned it for about 10 years, and a furnished basement was turned into a finished basement was turned into an unfinished basement pretty quickly after multiple parties. So
that's what happened.
15 years.
Good memories, though.
Yes.
So, Dan, you made an absolute fortune buying and selling and exiting on mobile home parks.
That was our niche. Obviously didn't know it at the time how lucrative it could be. But yeah, about 2021 was when we had an exit, my family and I. So since 2021, we're kind of back all in on the mobile home parks, and we've grown it again to we own about 13 parks to this day within our holding company. And it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Let me ask you this. You started out just buying and holding rental prop?
Rentals, yeah. So
did you do flips? Did you do wholesale? Did you do any of that?
So my brother Nick and I went into business together right out of college. He's 2 years younger, and he got his real estate license. We started wholesaling because that was back in the glory days where you could just fire off offers on the MLS and you could make $5 to $10,000 a pop just by sending a few emails, right? So we did that for a while because building a rental portfolio from scratch with virtually no money. We're college kids. We're just out of college, had no money to our name. Yes, my dad was a local attorney, and he did play a big factor in us raising money down the road. But
Silver spoon.
Yep. Yeah, you take your advantages you can get. But no, we actually, I think I remember asking my parents for money, and because we grew up middle upper class, and I thought they had maybe a lot more money than they did. And when we got told no, I was like, oh, like, okay, I guess
where's all the money, Dad?
Yeah. So I'd say our first 4 or 5 deals were all 100% seller finance deals. They were single families, they were duplexes. I was going in, talking to these sellers direct, and it was all local, where I grew up in the Illinois side of St. Louis. And I'd offer over list price. I just listen to the seller, find out what their pain point was, and be like, okay, I can solve this for you. So now the catch was they had to virtually seller finance the whole deal to me for a couple of years while I was working up some credit with some banks. So yeah, started with just the small doors like that. Worked our way up to maybe about 20 doors or so, and then it was actually a duplex for a lady that we couldn't come to a deal on. And she had the first mobile home park that was in town. And I'd probably driven past it 100 times, never really even knew it was there because it sits back. And she was like, hey, like, I kind of liked you, like, I wish we could have sold this duplex, but I've got this mobile home park. I'll seller finance it for you, because she's like, I keep all the cash. So she was like, you're not going to be able to get financing for what this thing's worth. And, I had the reaction, like I feel like most people would, especially just starting out. I was like, I do not want a mobile home park. I don't want a trailer park. That sounds crazy. No, thank you. And she was like, you just got to trust me, the seller financing. I actually walked the park with her to like see all that cash that was collected, that she was like, this doesn't make it to the bank account. So,
yeah.
She really had to prove to me that it was bringing in the money she said. And she
was doing a little under the table, huh? A little wink, huh?
She was savvy. She owned a bunch of different businesses, and I think the rough numbers were like, it was bringing in 10,000 a month, 5,000 would come in checks and money orders, and she'd deposit those, and then the other 5,000 would come in cash. And she was like, yeah, that doesn't always make it to the bank account. So we bought it, and that was probably about 13 years ago. So a couple years into our real estate journey, and it was back then,
so
it wasn't really.
Like this is bottom of the market, just kind of go. Do you think that plays a factor? I think that this is really interesting for everybody out there that runs across these deals, because we have a lot of really proactive people in the audience that are they're talking, they're doing what you did, right? They talk to somebody about a duplex, but then all of a sudden, oh, well, what do you think about this, apartment complex? What do you think about this piece of land? What do you think about this mobile home park? That type of thing. But the terms are crazy right now. The terms are like wild. Oh, I want 30% down. I want 7% interest. Like, the expectations are different. Do you feel like only certain markets you can get these deals? Are you still getting these deals now?
We're definitely still getting some seller finance deals. It's not so much now. Maybe it's only like 10 to 20% of it will be seller finance, but I feel like that in today's market is the best strategy, because a lot of mobile home parks are very fractured, right? So there are a lot of mom and pop owners.
Yep.
I bet to all your listeners, you drive past multiple mobile home parks that you don't even know exist, or you just look past it because maybe they don't look great, or they're hiding behind some pine trees or something. But we're still doing deals today. It seems to be more like we're getting the last 20% seller financed. And that works because, they've held on to this thing for 20 years. They can get their big lump sum, cash payment, down payment at least. And then they're kind of, we will negotiate pretty hard on the terms, to at least try and beat bank terms. But no, I mean, you definitely, definitely still see that today. Obviously, looking back, 2012, that you couldn't have been purchasing at a better time, it seems like, right after the crash. And,
Right.
I was in college during the 08, 09, crash. So I didn't really know what was going on. And, the last couple of years has finally been my first, I feel like, uptick in a cycle. So, obviously very, very fortunate timing, wasn't master planned by any means, but to say, I mean, there's definitely still deals out there, especially in, I would say, the mobile home park and even the storage markets that are very fractured, that are very heavy mom and pop owned. But again, you're not going to really see those going through brokers. You got to be willing to do, get your hands dirty and get those sellers on the phone, or,
What would you do? Would you
stop
mail? Would you send direct mail? Would you knock on the door, the manager's door, and
yeah,
interrupt their cigarette break? Would you?
Mhm.
Would
Yeah, no,
you cold call? What would you do?
we used to do a bunch of cold calling back in the heyday, and it was,
Mm-hmm.
I'd just drive around, kind of what they tell you to do, take a different path home, right?
Yep.
You'll see a park, snap a picture of the photo, try and talk to the manager first, try and talk to then get the owner's information. But the cool thing is, at least in most of all of our parks have been in the Midwest. So I would say the average purchase price is, call it $1 million. And that's roughly for a 30 to 40 lot, park.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we've purchased much larger and smaller, but, roughly $1 million was probably the average, I bet. And, you don't have to do too many of those deals, even if you're wholesaling them. Like we've worked with, commercial wholesalers, and we're happy to pay them a couple $100,000 if they've done a great job finding a good deal. And, we've done it. So, obviously I'd prefer to keep that $200,000 in my own pocket, but yeah, we'd cold call, we would, drop mailers. It'd be very targeted, very specific. But yeah, just the old fashioned, I just needed to get somebody on the phone. So that was kind of my whole thing.
And so you bought all those, you sold all those, you made a fortune.
Yeah,
And then
numbers.
And then you put a bunch of money into Abernathy Holdings. And
Sure
now
did.
what? 150 million, 200 million, 250 million in storage.
Yeah, almost 250 million in storage development in the works right now on the West Coast. I've recently moved from the St. Louis market out here to Phoenix, Scottsdale. So it's been a
Hunter,
nice move.
he's in North Scottsdale. He's in the Troon area. You know what I mean? He's behind the high gates and the cactus, the fake cactus that have cameras inside of them to pick off any unsavory characters coming into the community.
That's right.
He would melt in this in my neighborhood in Central Phoenix. But it's awesome, Dan. Truly,
Mm-hmm.
Truly your story is incredible, because you went from, I mean, your dad helped you to maybe make some connections and raise some funds and
Sure.
like, hey, talk to these people if you have a deal, but you have to find a deal first. You can't just be like, it all starts with lead generation, right? And we talk about that in the show here. 3 main skills as a real estate entrepreneur. 1 is lead generation, 2 is raising funds, and 3 is property management. And in that order, right? And so if you have number 1, you could do number 2. And if you get the number 2, then you're getting into more property management, which is number 3. And that's exactly what you've done. But you keep upgrading what you're doing, right?
100%. And I do think it's an important distinction, because I was very much buy and hold forever strategy. The rich dad, poor dad model. Like that was, I read that book junior year of college and was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And the only reason we sold in 2021 was because, so we were at roughly 1,000 lots between my family's majority ownership of our company, our main holding company with our family. And
1,000 lots from seller financing?
No, I would say about half of those were seller finance. Once we kind of got the ball rolling, banks started to trust us. Then by that point, we did a couple of traditional syndication models. But again, I didn't even know what a syndication was until I had a deal on my plate that was too big that I was like, I'm not walking away from. How am I going to make this work? Right. So we did a couple of the syndications, but my brother and I were running around like crazy. We had 1,000 lots. We had about 15, 16 employees, so we're managing them because we do all the management in house for the parks.
Yeah.
And, we couldn't ever find someone to manage them properly, or at least the way that we felt they should be managed. But, and so our solution was we just had to double in size as fast as possible. So we were actually looking at acquiring 800 lots, I believe it was, portfolio in Ohio, which we have no relationships, nothing in Ohio. And we offered, back then, I think it was like a 5 cap rate. And like we were just like, we'll raise the money, we'll figure it out. We're not going to make a dime. The only thing this allowed us to do was like, we thought we could go and hire 2 college grad mid-level managers and basically be like, okay, you're doing everything that we don't want to do. That was our plan. And I didn't get that deal because a hedge fund bought it for like a 4.3 cap or something. And then that was like my aha moment. I was like, 4.5 cap. Like, that's crazy. I mean, we were probably all in for all of our 1,000 lots at like an 11 cap. 12 cap maybe. And so you see those kind of numbers being tossed around. Within a couple months, I had the properties under contract to be sold to a hedge fund. And I was like, okay, well, this clearly feels like the top of the cycle.
It's great.
So,
it's like seeing your house, like you buy a house and you're like, okay, I have this house and it's been a few years. And then all of a sudden your neighbors are selling for, you bought a house for like 300. You see your neighbor selling for 500. Like, wait a second, what is it? So it's selling for 600. You're like, 600? This house that I bought for 300 is worth 600 now. It's the opposite with caps, right? You have an 11 cap. And by the way, guys, don't just Google it. It's confusing. I don't even know what it means. I mean, it's capitalization rate of the price and what you get and the net income and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Right. Figure it out. Or don't. I don't know. I haven't. Anyway, just word salad. But just, it's the opposite, right? You got 11, you see somebody buying it for, let's sell it to them.
Yep. Yeah. And it's basically, the short version is just a return on capital, right? So we were earning roughly, this is a very layman's version, we're earning roughly 11% on our money. There's someone out there willing to only make 4% on their money, so they're willing to pay a lot more for something.
Awesome.
So, and we were not sellers, like we were trying to double in size. So I went from never ever selling a thing to that moment being like, you know what? Maybe this makes sense to sell, So I feel like that's a lesson I like telling people, and a couple of the random people I help with real estate deals is like, as long as you're always in the market interested in buying, you'll be able to have a good pulse on that market to be able to tell like, hey, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, maybe we should buy, maybe we should sell. So obviously glad we did, and took a little bit of time off, moved out to the Phoenix metro, now doing the storage development, which is fun. And, the mobile home parks, the hook just got me right back. And yeah, we're about at a little over 600 lots again right now. So
this guy, absolutely incredible. So the theme of the show is your first 90 days, 90 days action plan in real estate. If you were to go and just speak to yourself in your first days, your first 90 days, what would you focus on, knowing what you know now?
Man, it's I feel like a lot of the things that, maybe we were taught growing up, as we were first, purchasing the coaching and doing all the little things, we thought in real estate, I mean, it is the same amount of work doing a multi-million-dollar mobile home park as it is a $50,000 St. Louis single family rental. So don't be afraid to find the deal, even if it's a larger deal. I was always deathly afraid of raising money. And that's kind of where, my dad, comes into the equation. Cause I don't know if it was confidence, I was still so young,
Sure.
asking people for money. But I mean, the way people, everybody wants to invest in real estate, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, carpenter, whatever, like people love real estate. They love hard assets. Nobody understands the stock market. Nobody has control over the stock market. So I felt like I always underestimated how many people actually wanted to invest in real estate. And so when we did find a deal that was truly a deal, we had the money raised in no time, because also you never know who has money, by the way. So me, my brother, and my dad, we compiled this massive list of people, like friends, family, friends of friends, anybody that we would talk to. And that's who we started reaching out to for money. We're calling a family member thinking, oh, they've got a good high paying job, like they may be interested. Well, they weren't interested, but their college aged son was interested. And he had his bar mitzvah money or whatever, and had, he had 20 grand sitting aside, and he was like, hey, can I get in on this? So like, you never know who actually has money. So that'd be another little piece. But those first 90 days, I mean, I think you pick one lane and you commit to it, because for the longest time, we were stuck in just single family. And if I didn't have that lady who helped push me to that first mobile home park, I'm confident we would have been successful. Maybe we would have had 1,000 single families, but I say we accidentally found the mobile home park niche, and you let the accidents happen to you if you're out in the market talking to people, doing doing the right things. Baby. TTP. There you go.
I call it the luck surface area, right? If you're just by yourself, and imagine like, you've got these meteors, and these meteors are opportunities, right, Dan? Mm-hmm. And if you're not talking to anybody, you don't have any luck surface area. But the more people you talk to, the more your luck surface area expands, and these meteorites, they're going to hit you. They're going to hit you. And and all of a sudden you're going to get these opportunities, and it's only because you're proactive and because you're going out there trying to solve problems.
100%. And I mean, once you get that snowball effect going, you can't stop it even if you want. Like and probably that's part of the reason why we got back into mobile home parks, because I was committed to all the storage stuff, and I'm still, all my brokers, all my contacts, all my bankers are still throwing me all these deals. And of course, I'm a deal guy. A lot of us are deal guys. It's like, well, say no. And then you're like, well, that's too good of a deal to pass up. We should do that one. So, I'm not even trying at this point to get mobile home park leads, and I get multiple a week in my inbox.
Awesome. Dan Gibson, everybody. Thanks for being on here, bud.
Brent, appreciate it. Good seeing you, man. Talk soon.
You're awesome. Yeah.
See you, man.
I love bringing on, I mean, listen, it's great bringing on the coaches and influencers and everything. The guys that make the most money, like real wealth, real are these guys that are just like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna wear, a 3/4 zip sweater and just sit on my computer and do deals all day long. You know what I mean? Like crush. Kids going bananas in the background. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Guys, that's our show. 90 days, 90-day action plan. Make sure you download it. It is in the chat. If you're watching this later, there's a chat box, and then there's the comments box. Don't check the comments. Go to the chat. Maybe we'll put it in the comments afterwards as well. Okay. Alejandra will do that either way. So it'll be a no-brainer. Come on in, guys. Anton, Alejandra, Luke, Matt, come on in. Let's say goodbye to everybody. Raphael was going to be here, but his son had to get, I don't know, he had to pull him from school for some reason. So on behalf of Matt and Alejandra and Luke and Anton, hey-o, we love you guys. Thank you for participating. If you have not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like if you got value out of this. And we do this every Wednesday. Remember, keep your house clean, protect your health, and increase your value to the world. You'll live a fantastic life. Love you guys. See ya.